What's up everybody? Josh, starterraingutterbusiness.com. Today we're going to do a quick startup video for you guys, all your startup tools you'll need to get going with your new rain gutter business. So let's get going. All right, so we're going to start out with the stuff that goes in the trailer, and then we'll kind of move on to the stuff that I keep on myself, my tool bags and all that. So you have your van or trailer, gutter machine. Besides that, we usually carry, at least in the shop, maybe not carry every day, but a 24-foot extension ladder, a 28-foot extension ladder, and a 32-foot extension ladder. That covers everything pretty well. We do have a couple 40-foot ladders, but I would avoid those if you can. So you don't need those to start up. A 24-footer is probably our most used extension ladder, so that'll get 90% of your work done. Right inside the van, one of the first things you set out, you plug your machine in with a cord. So usually just keep a 100-foot cord with you. This is a run out stand. So I just like the simple ones. These are cheap and simple. They make ones with rollers on this area, and those, they work fine, but these work just as good, and they're a little cheaper. So that's kind of what I stick to usually. Adjustable height is nice. That's what I try to get with those. Next gutter specific tool would be end cap crimpers. These I like the Malco ones, so these just crimp your end caps on with. These work really good. We'll put a link for you guys. Next used tool, probably the most used tool in the trailer, drill set. So I prefer 18-volt drills on charged battery. It'll last you pretty much all day. So get like a decent one. You're using these things all the time. So with a 6-inch bit on the impact driver. This is 6 inches long, 1/4-inch drive, and then the drills with that. This is for drilling into, you know, brick or concrete, mason blocks, whatever. Charger. So I usually just buy that as a kit for one of my setups. Works really good. Comes with a charger. You know, everything's ready to go. So tape measures. I always keep 100-foot tape. They make smaller ones than this. I try to avoid the ones with a metal tape band. So this is a nylon. The metal ones tend to, like if you're up on a deck, they'll get stuck in between the deck boards and then they'll break really easy. So I like the nylon ones personally, and then get one that like winds up pretty quick. Most of them are like 3 or 4 to 1 wind up speed. So that's what I prefer anyways. Just helps everything go a little quicker. You can whip it right back in there. And then for the other tape measure, a 25 or a 35-foot, just standard tape measure. I always try to find the ones with a little bigger tip on them so you can hook stuff by yourself easily. Works really well. Next in the trailer, so we had the extension ladders, mentioned those. Then we have probably the most universal ladder is just one of these like Little Giant style ladders, 8 or 9-foot version. So folded up, they're like 5.5 feet tall. They go up to 9 feet, and then you can use them as like on stairs. They're adjustable, or you can use them as an extension ladder as well. So probably the most universal ladder. They're a little heavier. I mean, you can just get a $100 fiberglass ladder, 8-foot ladder too if you want. That's kind of what I started out with, probably just because they're cheap. But if you're looking for something to do at all, like a Little Giant 9-foot ladder works really well. Next thing in the trailer, just a glue gun. Normal, I think these are called 10-ounce glue gun. So you know, you just use this for all your gutter sealant. Get a decent one. The cheap ones break really quick. So if you spend like $20 to $30 on one of these, get you a really decent one. They last quite a while if you take care of them. Another thing mentioning those extension ladders is a ladder stabilizer. So this goes at the top of that extension ladder, helps brace you off the roof. These are my favorite ones, the Ladder Max. You can get them at Home Depot. Not specifically Ladder Max, but you can get like a version of this at Home Depot. I would recommend to order one of these online. We'll have a link for these in the description, but these are my favorite ones. They work really well. All right, next in the trailer, zip screw container. We use the Milwaukee Packouts boxes, but this is what I started out with, is just like a divided nylon container thing. These work really well. It's nice to be able to have a lid that closes on the Milwaukee Packouts, and you can stack them when you have different, you know, we have like the standard color sets and then like a specialty color sets. And they aren't necessary. This is like $5 compared to like $60 for one of those Packouts. Packouts are nicer, and I don't think I've had any of them break. So we like the Packouts, but this is if you're just getting going on the cheap, this works fine. So throw all your, 6 different colors of SIB screws in here and you're ready to go. So last thing in the trailer, Malco hole punch. Put a link for this guy in the description for you. This is we use the X style. They make these in 2x3 and 3x4, so depending on what downspout you're going to be doing most of the time, just get the size that you're mainly going to be using. So the 2x3 I would say is more universal. If you're going to do both, you can always punch a 2x3 hole and then expand that hole with a set of pliers and tin snips to the bigger size if you're not going to be doing 3x4 that often. So I would say if you're mainly using 2x3, just start out with a 2x3 X punch, and this will kind of cover everything for you until you feel like buying another one. And then a hammer. For removal and disposal is mainly what we use hammers for knocking off the nail and furrow type rain gutters. So I always keep a hammer in our setup just for when you run across those on a removal and disposal job. So moving on to our tool bag setup. So this is everything I keep on me walking around the job site. So I just keep everything in these, fold them up and put them in a coil usually in the back of my van. So a pair of left-handed right angle snips is pretty much the only tin snips I use. It's nice to have a right and a left hand set just for different situations, but 99% of the time I use the left-handed ones. Downspout cutters. These are just HVAC pipe cutters. You don't have to use the Lennox brand. These are probably my favorite, but these work really well. And you can use a hacksaw if you want. If you already have one of those, you can use a Sawzall. These seem to be more consistent, don't leave any burrs, and that's why I like using these. So a few different ways you can get around cutting a downspout, but this is how I like to do it. And then pipe crimpers. So this is after you cut your downspout, crimping those downspout pipes. I like the 3-blade ones specifically. You can use the 5-blade ones too, which are usually more readily available, but the 3-blade ones seem to work better, and they're lighter and smaller. So these are called lineman pliers. You don't need specific lineman pliers. I use these a lot for straightening out metal if I need to, or pulling a nail out or whatever. I keep these on me all the time, and I use them quite a bit. Utility knife, just for opening stuff. Whatever. There's all sorts of situations I use that guy. And then I always keep a flathead screwdriver with me. Usually a little quicker to pop the glue tube open with that, so I usually use this, a little less messy, because if you're using your caulk gun, the little tang on the caulk gun to pop your glue gun all the time, then that glue gets all over your hands and then on the gutters and kind of turns into a mess. So I usually use this, or like a spare gutter nail. Keep one of those in my trailer to pop those open. But I use this a lot for, prying or loosening stuff, whatever. And then I like to keep just that standard tape handy on me for doing downspouts and shorter gutter runs. So, all right, other side. Just, I guess, to give you a quick layout on my bags. All my hand tools are on the right. I have I think they're called like an electrician style bag on the right, just for I'm right-handed, so keep all my tools in there, and then just a regular carpenter pouch on the left. So keep all my screws in here. I keep 2-inch screws with rubber washers in one pocket for, certain installation. 1.5 inches in another pocket for downspout, clips, and like a standard installed rain gutter. And then I have a trash pouch, and then I have my zip screw pouch up here up top. So I'll keep my color zip screws for each job in there. Pencil, carpenter's pencil. I have a masonry bit in there. So I usually use 3/16, and these work good with hollow wall fillers or whatever to attach your downspout to some stone or brick. Got a marker in here, Sharpie. Use that quite a bit. And that looks like about it. You know, I keep like a 5/16 nut driver in here sometimes. Just that stuff where you don't want to be running back to the trailer. So if you find yourself using something a lot, I like to find a spot for that tool in my bags for the day. So like certain jobs need different, you know, different tools sometimes. So I try to keep those with me so you don't have to work on something, walk all the way back to the van, grab it, go back. So try to keep everything as efficient as possible. And then here on my back, I have just a torpedo level. Stabila is my favorite. This is a 10-inch Stabila level. Got a little pouch for it back here. You know, I'm not sure I'm so keen on the little pouch for it, but sometimes you keep it in with your tools or whatever. But it's kind of, you know, everybody has their own little layout they like, but you'll get it figured out after you have these standard tools with you. So, and then I keep my phone's ringing off the hook most of the time, so I have a little phone case back here on my bags, which makes it nice to grab, and so I have to sort around with trying to get it out of my pocket all the time. Also, when I first started, I noticed if I just had hip bags, it was climbing ladders all the time. It was causing a lot of tension on my hips, like just having all that weight straight on my hips. So I really like having shoulder straps to kind of split the load. Just like when you're backpacking or anything, you know, keeping that weight kind of central on you, and it helps you throughout the day not get tired and sore. So that is kind of a list of all your basic tools you'll need to get going. There's a few other things we keep with us that you don't necessarily need right away. It's nice to have them in the van, so when you get to a job and something comes up, you can take care of it. You know, a couple of those things are like a skill saw with a metal blade, in case you need to like trim a metal roof or cut some flashing or something. And then like a sawzall a lot of times downspouts go through decks. So that's another thing that's kind of optional. You know, you don't need it right away, but you run into that every once in a while. So, and then some hole saws. Most common are 2 3/8 for like an outlet drop, and then a 3-inch for a bigger outlet for, you know, bigger downspout. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out a little bit, get going, and like, subscribe. See you on the next one.